a Siri-shaped hole.
Yeah.
It's very as funny as you were being, and as tongue-in-cheek as that is.
Oh, I was dead serious, man. I was dead serious.
I know. But what was awesome about that statement is we do have a God-shaped hole. It's been a part of our faith that God has made us for himself. This isn't foreign to listeners of this show, but it's interesting when you say that we do have a religious capacity of wanting to conversate with the divine because God made us like himself. So what's interesting is when you said that, this whole week I was reflecting on where do I seek God in an infinite conversation in my daily life that's actually not seeking him. And John of the Cross, and this is JP2's mystic, if you will, the one that he really ascribed his spirituality to because he wanted to be, at some point he discerned the Carmelitic order. But John of the Cross talks about a way of nothingness, in this allowing the indwelling of God to enter into our hearts, and the only way we can come to hear him and know him is it's an interior movement within ourselves. It's not an exterior seeking. And that was something that I started to really reflect on. It reminded me of just reflection from this Russian philosopher, Vladimir, and I'm going to mess up his last name, but it was Solovyov, but he wrote a tale of the Antichrist, and there was a line in there that said, the Antichrist loves God because he's human, but secretly loves himself more. And this is that exterior movement, that this conversation that when he's saying this emotional desire to have a conversation with something bigger than ourselves, and how really the reality is the whole time, if we allow ourselves to draw in solitude in prayer and allow God to get rid of all of our distractions. And distractions doesn't mean they're bad things. It could be all kinds of things. But when we come to prayer, to allow God to strip us down to that basic relationship of that interior presence of him in our own lives. And he's a perfect gentleman. He's not going to force himself on you. It's just as simple as inviting him in and doing that on a regular basis. So this whole time, seeking God and things outside of ourselves, the only way that can be, and you look at it from a sacramental worldview, is if we allow that interior life to really permeate. So that when you said that, it just dawned on me, like, wow, I gotta ask myself, where do I try to seek the divine conversation outside of just drawing myself into prayer and that solitude with God?
Well, and not just seeking divine conversation places besides God, but when I became Catholic, as I was exploring the Catholic faith, you know, in the world that I came from, and this is not necessarily because this is what was taught everywhere, but this is the concept that I got. Sin is bad stuff you shouldn't do. Whereas in the Catholic concept of sin, there's a real science to this. Sin is so often characterized as something that you should want, but